Hi, I'm Corky Harvey. I'm the founder of a new parenting and breastfeeding center in Los Angeles. It's called the Pump Station and Nursery. I've been helping people learn how to bathe babies for over 45 years. I'm an RN. I have a master's degree in maternal child nursing, and I'm an internationally board certified lactation consultant. I would like you to meet Emily. Emily is an honest company employee, and she's expecting her first baby. When is that baby coming?
June 24th.
Give or take a few days?
Yes, or whenever the baby wants.
Right, and what are you having?
I don't know, it's a surprise. It's going to be a surprise of a lifetime.
And we don't have a name to share yet?
No, but we have a couple boy names and a couple girl names picked out, so when we meet the baby, then we get to choose what it looks like.
And nobody else gets to vote, it's your turn?
No.
Right,
Yes.
okay. So we decided, Emily and I, we'd like to call this baby Jack,
Baby
right?
Jack,
Baby
yep.
Jack, it's a little baby boy. So because I work with new parents all the time, I know that they can be pretty anxious, even though they're thrilled, excited, elated, delighted, they're a little anxious because there's a lot of first things you're gonna have to do.
Yes.
First diaper, first feeding, first bath, which can be kind of a magical, fun time. Keep in mind though, newborns really don't love to be naked, so sometimes they'll cry a little bit at first.
Okay.
And so maybe you back off for a few days because prior to the cord coming off, so that takes about 2 weeks, we don't put them in a tub. We do a little sponge bath here on the side. So you could keep that going for a little longer if your baby is not happy. So, but by a few months, these kids love their baths, and it can become part of the evening routine. So today we're going to just start showing you how to do a bath, and we're going to use the new fragrance-free line that you're familiar with from Honest Company.
Yes.
So no phthalates, no sulfates used in it.
Yes, it is.
No parabens. So and the fragrance-free, which I love, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, a newborn is the most delicious smell on the planet. And being able to just bury your nose in that baby's neck and smell and not have some other fragrance on them, you're going to really appreciate that. So I really love that. I mean, other than the things that people talk about like allergy and all kinds of other things, this fragrance-free line is delightful. So today we're going to use the new shampoo and
body wash.
And I like that because you don't have to have two products.
Yes.
Not both shampoo and body wash.
Great. And then the face and body lotion.
Great. So this is just for those dry little spots on those babies, etc.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start. So you got to find the right place and the right time. How often do you think you need to bathe the baby?
Is it every day?
It could be, but the American Academy of Pediatrics suggests about 3 times a week.
Okay.
Okay, so I like to bathe my babies every day, but it can make them too dry. So if I did that, I would probably not use soap in all the areas. But there are 2 areas where soap is pretty important.
Okay.
Every day for the diaper area. So even if you don't give your baby a bath, you need to get their diaper area washed with soap and water once a day, or they can get rashy from not having that. The second area that I love washed often, and it does need to be done fairly often, is the hair. I actually like this little Dr. Scrub Brush. We actually sell this product, and I'm going to put it in the bath. Feel how soft it is.
Oh yeah.
So I can just use that when I'm shampooing the baby. It won't hurt their head or their soft spot, but it can loosen flaky skin and so forth. Some babies get a condition called cradle cap, and this might help loosen some of that dry skin.
Okay. And so I can use this when I'm giving the baby a sponge bath. Outside the tub.
You can, absolutely you can. So if I didn't want to bathe my whole baby, but I wanted to do the head and the bottom, I could do the bath, but I just wouldn't use soap on all parts. But every 3 days, soap on everything.
Everything.
Okay. So at my height, I like the kitchen counter, but table counter height is beautiful. You can kneel on the floor. You don't have to have a special place to do this.
Okay.
Okay, and then I need to kind of gather up all the things that I'm going to need for the bath. So I'd have my tub, and I'd have my soap and my lotion. I have a little stack of fresh things I'm going to put on the baby after the bath. So I have a new blanket, I have the outfit, I have a onesie, I have a diaper, and I might even put some wipes beside me in case the baby had a stool. The Honest wipes would be great.
Yes.
And then I have my washcloth. I love these thin little washcloths. Feel how thin that is. And I'm going to wrap that around my hand. I'll show you how to do that when I'm actually doing the bath. And I like to have something beside just the towel here, just in case I need to dry up something else. You might have a closet full of hand towels that you got for your wedding. So, by the way, if you have questions anytime along this time, just go to the comment below and send in your questions. So I'm about ready here to go to do this baby, and if my baby's a real crier, I could do the whole head first before I even go into the water,
Okay.
just like we would for sponge bathing. So I'm going to go ahead though and undress this little baby because I've gathered all my stuff. How hot should this water be? So about 100 degrees, but you don't need to buy a floaty
Okay.
duck or something with a temperature of thermometer.
Okay. How
But
would I
just
know?
feel it with your wrist
Okay.
or with your elbow, and it should feel nice and warm.
Okay.
Not
Yes.
hot, but nice and warm, because they've been at 98.6 here.
Right.
So they like it nice and warm. So I'm all ready to go. So let's go ahead and undress Jack. I had him all swallowed up. Did you notice
I
that?
did.
So that's
very
a
comfy
way
in
to
there.
really calm a baby, is to have him really swaddled. And I'm going to take his clothes off, and then, of course he would have a diaper on as well. So I'm going to just move these things down and out of the way. All right, are you ready? So I'm going to turn my soap around. Another thing I love about this is I can push this with one hand while never taking my hand
Right.
off the baby. So I'm going to watch how I lift Jack up. I'm going to put my finger right between. I don't hold a baby like this, but I've got his legs securely, and I want you to see that.
Okay.
I'm going to slip my hand underneath his neck and go ahead and hold his arm securely. And then I'm going to slip him kind of feet first down into the water. I actually like the water slightly deeper so that it's coming up all the way up his back, and I actually like it to be up over his little abdomen. So I'm not going to be able to fold that washcloth for this bath. I'll show you afterwards what I would do for a
Okay.
sponge bath, because I don't have two free hands. So I'm never going to have two free hands this whole time.
Right,
So I
you're
just put
always
some water
holding
on
him.
him. Yep, I'm always holding him. Hand never off that arm.
Okay.
Okay. So his eyes are going to be first, because we don't want to contaminate an eye area from other places. So I'm going to take a corner of my fresh washcloth, go inner corner out, and I'm never going back in. If I need to do it again, I find a new point on the washcloth. So he looked good, so I'll go ahead and just do the other eye. Now, here's my other little towel. If he had a lot of water pooled there, I could take my little towel and just
Perfect.
do that. Okay, I'm going to look up his nose. It looks fine. If I needed to do something, like if he has, it's hard to think of the right word, but a little boogery thing there, I can either flick it out, or we love a product called a Nose Frida that can suction it out. Have you seen that? But I can just wash his nose a little bit. Now his ears can smell a little waxy, so I'm going to put a little bit of soap now. Obviously we did not use soap in his eyes.
Right.
So now I'm just going to go over to his little ear and go around and the other side. And I'll come back, Jack, and rinse that ear for you in just a second. And then I would do the rinse. Hey, Jack, let's get some of that soap out of your ear. And then I'm going to do his whole face. And we have to be really careful to get the neck washed and rinsed. Babies can get a rash just from kind of dribbling into their neck, and they sweat a lot, and you'd be surprised how much lint fuzz you find in that neck, because they really
with
don't
all
have
the
a neck.
folds.
Yeah, they don't have one. They're like little snowmen. I can actually use my hand to do this part, so I'm just going to wet my hand a little bit, or I could just use my washcloth and just wash his face. And you're trying to not get soap in those eyes. And then down in that neck, all the way around, and then I'm just going to rinse. You are a good baby, Jack. Notice that there's not a lot of suds in here. If you overshot it a little bit and you wanted to do some clear rinse water at the end, I always have a cup beside me so I can do a little bit of that, maybe run some fresh water at the end of the bath and rinse them if you kind of overshot it a little bit on the soap. And you'll learn that they just aren't very dirty and you just don't need much soap. Let's rinse that really well. Okay, Jack, you're doing great. Now we're going to do his hair. So
All right.
I'm just going to wet his head, put a tiny bit of soap on it. Remember that the soft spot is like a leather covering. You're not going to hurt it. So I can take my little scrub brush now. You're doing well. Are you kicking your little legs, buddy? Mm-hmm. So just using this little scrub brush. If you don't have one of those, it's no problem. Just wash his hair with your
Helping
hand.
exfoliate.
Yeah, a little bit. Now we're all done with the head.
Okay.
And if we're too wet and I want to do something like that, I can. All right, Jack, let's wash the rest of your little body. So I tend to use my hand more than anything. I love the little feel. Their skin is so soft. You'll just love it. And I just do every little finger and every little toe with my hand. And I don't need anything. Just that little dab of soap went a long ways. Can you see that?
Yes, it covered his entire bottom
Yeah,
half.
just with a little tiny bit of soap, so don't need very much. And so far so good. I'm going to turn him over, and instead of turning him over this way, I'm going to sit him up. Now, because this is a plastic doll, I have to help bend the legs a little bit. You won't need to. Your baby will be really pliable and
Yes.
and come around easy. So I'm going to use my hand. I'm just going to change wrist. Now I'm on his hand again, his arm with my fingers.
Okay.
I'm just going to tilt him forward, and he's just going to slump down on my wrist
Okay.
like that.
So you switch
and
to the other arm.
yeah, just very quick. And now I'm
was
going to
very smooth.
quickly wash his back, and I'm done. That's all I can,
Wow.
and I'll just maybe do his buttocks a little bit with my hand, and then I lay him right back down. Again, I'm holding. So if he's like this, it scares him. And so I've got to have the grip.
Okay.
So now
Make
let's
him feel secure.
very secure. Otherwise, he will cry and be frightened. He'll do a special reflex they have called the startle or moro. So I'm done now, except for genitals. So
Okay.
with my hand, I would do his genitals. Now we need to talk about a little boy's penis a little bit. He will be healed if he has a circumcision before he goes in the tub.
Okay, so
Okay,
he'll
yeah.
be healed before 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then you can just wash him. We're a little bit careful whether they're circumcised or not to not get soap right on the head of that penis because it can burn when it goes in the urethra. Same for little girls. I just put his legs up a little bit so I could do a little bit better job down here on his buttocks. Doesn't that feel good, buddy, to get your bottom all cleaned up? Yeah, so as much as I'm talking to you, I would be talking to this baby and just telling him how cute he is and how yummy he is and how I'm going to feed him soon and just make him really happy. So that's the whole of it. Was that scary?
I feel very soothed as well. That was
Now I'm going to bring him right out,
great.
same way I took him in, with that real, and I can
Holding
bring him
both
close.
feet.
My shirt will get a little wet, but
Okay.
I don't care. And then I'm going to bring him right over here, and I'm going to wrap him up. So I didn't mention at first that when I was gathering things, I should have mentioned to you that I have a heavy towel underneath him,
Okay.
and then I have his baby towel over that. You know, you don't have to have a hooded towel, but they're nice because they cover that head, and boy, are they cute. Check out how cute he is. So
cute.
yeah. So what I do is wrap them up. They hate being cold. They just hate it.
Okay.
So I'm going to wrap him up, and to minimize the crying, I go ahead and pick him up. So watch how I do that. I lower my body all the way, and then up he comes.
Okay,
and
so he's
right-
again so secure.
again,
right
and I'm
next
just going to
you.
dry him here. And when I get him dry, I'll check his genitals a little bit, make sure I got everything dry, and then let's put a little lotion on him.
Yes.
You know, it might be fun for you to learn some of the strokes that are nice for baby massage, colic
Okay.
stroke, for instance. But any kind of nurturing massage on his body will feel delicious to him. If he's crying, just move along and try that later. Okay,
We
let's
can
try.
cuddle later.
Yeah, just when he's more content. So probably best not to bathe the baby when they're super hungry,
Okay.
but more when they're a little bit content. Maybe you've just fed them. If they spit up a little bit, it's not a big deal. A lot of that, don't bathe them when they're full, is kind of a wives' tale stuff. So
Okay.
you're cool. So
They
can
won't
you
be
think
as
of any
fussy.
questions as I went along here?
You mentioned the folding the washcloth. So
Let me
are we
do
gonna
that.
see that at
Yes,
the end?
for the sponge bath, I can do this
Right, 'cause This
technique.
is what I'm going to need first
Yep.
when I first have the baby.
for about 2 weeks for sure. So I can wrap this around my hand and then
Okay.
tuck it in. And I've now created a little mitt
Oh.
so I can do that easily when they're sponge bathing.
Okay. and
Can't do it when I'm in the tub because I don't have a free hand.
Right.
Your partner could.
That's true.
So around here.
And tuck it in.
And then I can rinse and soap without even taking
Okay.
it off.
That's
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah. All right. So he's all ready, and so I took away the wet towel so he's not damp, and we can just massage him. Do you want to try?
Yeah.
So this again is the fragrance-free.
Face and body lotion.
Yeah. Let's just try a little dab. Why don't you massage his little legs and his little buttocks and
Both of
area?
them?
Yeah. And he will like it if you give him nice, firm pressure
Okay.
instead of tickly pressure. Yeah, doesn't it? Oh, that's delicious.
I know. Can't wait to be doing this.
Do you want to do his body?
Start up here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so
Do his
fun.
little
I can't
arms.
wait.
And something to know about babies is that they have a crawl reflex. So if you turn him
Okay.
over, you've got to make sure that you're in a safe environment, that he can't move off the
Okay.
end. So let me show you how to flip him,
Okay.
just to do his back a little bit. Put your hands right on his cheek and take your other hand right under and just turn him over. Your newborn will have those hands kind of up like this, and they're always like this with
Okay.
their legs bent up under, and he'll start moving a lot. They don't love that. Tummy time's important though, so
Okay.
you can do that quite a few times a day. Now massage his back. Oh yeah. Massage like this is a way to get to know your baby better.
Okay.
What they respond to won't be very long until he sees you come in with that lotion, and you even say, "I'm going to rub your body," and he'll just relax for you.
He'll be excited.
Yeah. Now see if you can turn him over by putting your hand right on the back.
Here, and then
Your hand just underneath him, and then just take him around like a pancake here.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this might be more difficult when he's actually.
It's actually easier, I think. These
Okay.
stiff dolls are not as easy. So, Emily, I hope that this little demonstration made your transition into parenting a lot more fun.
Yes.
Because you're not going to be frightened at all.
Yes, I'm not as scared. I feel much more prepared and ready to go.
So you can find these products on honest.com. And one other thing to remember, that every baby's a bit different.
Okay.
And so adjust this to what works for your baby. If you can
Okay.
only do his head and his arm one day, that's all you need to do. Also, that we never leave babies alone. And you noticed I kept my body in front of him the whole way. Even when kids are 5 years old, they should not be alone in a bathtub.
Okay.
Because if they stand up, slip, fall, it can be uncomfortable for them. But that's not a good thing to end on. So let's end on the fun you're about to experience.
Yes.
Want you to have a great birth, and if we can be of any help to you in
Great.
anything you're learning to do, we'd be glad to do that.
All right.
And for all of you, thanks for being here with us today. And if you need anything, Honest Company, honest.com, and you can let us know too at the pump station and nursery. Thanks so much. Adios.
Thank you.